Google Sites, a simple website builder, naturally works well with Google's other applications. In a previous video, I showed you how to embed a YouTube video into a site, and in this video, I'll run through embedding a Google Doc, a slide deck, a form, and lastly, an audio clip, all hosted in my Google Drive. Let's take a look. Before adding docs, sheets, slides, forms, or other media stored in your Google Drive to your Google site, you need to adjust the sharing settings for those files so that visitors who can access your site can also access these forms of embedded media. You can do this by adjusting the sharing settings individually on each item in Google Drive. But it's faster to add all of these items that you're going to use in your Google site to a single folder, and then just set the sharing settings on that folder. This works because in Google Drive, files and other content inherit the sharing settings of their parent folder. That's the most efficient way to handle sharing settings for multiple items of content that I'd like to embed in a Google site or perhaps multiple Google sites. Ordinarily, you'd likely add text directly into a Google site, but there may be cases where you'd like to embed a Google Doc into a Google site. For example, you might want the site to only be editable by you, but you'd like a Google Doc to be present that's editable by others. To add a Google Doc, I go over to the Docs link in the Insert menu. Google will show me Google Docs in my Google Drive, sorted by last time I accessed them. In this case, here's the Google Doc I want. I double-click it, and it's embedded into the page of my Google site. I can adjust the size of the embed window by clicking and dragging these blue dots. Google Sites doesn't do a great job in the editor of showing you what exactly this embed window will look like on your live site. So when you want to check the size, go to Preview and see how it'll look on the various different devices users might use to access your site. To collect information from visitors, or perhaps as a quiz for students, you can embed a Google form in your site. Again, the process is familiar. Choose Forms on the Insert menu, and again, Google shows you forms in your Google Drive. Here's the one I'd like. I double-click it, and Google installs it as an embedded object. And again, I can click and drag to change the size of the embed window, and I can see what that'll look like in the preview. It's an identical process to embed a set or deck of Google Slides. I click Slides in the Insert menu and choose the slide deck that I'd like. And I can adjust the embed window. There are additional options and features with embedded slides. If you click the cog that appears in the upper right when you've highlighted the embed window by clicking on it, you can set your slides to autoplay and to loop playback, and then you can set the time each slide appears on screen. In this case, I've actually used Google Slides to build an interactive diagram rather than a traditional slide deck. I show you how to do that in another video, but for now, I don't need these presentation settings to autoplay the slide deck. It's worth previewing to see how your users see a slide deck and some additional features they have. They can jump between slides with a menu and with arrows. And they can also see speaker notes if you have them attached to each slide. It's also possible to embed things in Google Sites that are not in Google Drive or are in Google Drive but don't have a quick link in the Google Sites menu. For example, I like to add short audio clips to my online lessons. Google Sites doesn't let you add an MP3 file stored in your Google Drive using the Google Drive link in the Insert menu. But there's a workaround. Over in my Google Drive, I navigate to the clip I want to install. I double-click on it, and it opens in its own player window. I'll pause this, and then I'll go to the sharing settings. This is the link I need. I'll copy that to my computer's clipboard, go back to the site, and I can use either menu. I'll click on Screen to get the circle menu, choose Embed, and paste it in. Now this doesn't look impressive, but once I click Insert, you'll see that Google has installed that player into the page. And if I want, I can trim up the window or the embed window in which it's sitting. For embedded audio clips, I usually add a text caption as well to make clear to my visitors that that's what's here. Let's see how that looks.